Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
It's interesting because everybody's a leader, whether they realize it or not. The first person in life that you lead is yourself. But when you expand outside of that arena into a broader scope or a broader scale, and you start to interact and encounter other people, there's only two roles. There's either a follower or there's a leader. But there's only one thing that people value in life more than money, and that's winning. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be a winner. Nobody wants to be a loser. But think about it this way. If I want to win and you want to win, do we win together or do we become competitors and win separately? Mm-hmm. How far can we go if we both have an agenda of winning, but one agenda doesn't coincide with the other agenda?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Follow Brand Podcast. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, and I get an opportunity today to talk about leadership. I'm big on leadership. I'm big on innovation. I'm big on industry leaders that are bringing us knowledge, information, and wisdom that we can utilize, especially as we go into this 2024 arena. Where do we sit? Who do we talk to? How do we get the advice to solve some of the pressing problems of our day? So I want to introduce you to Velton. I'll let Velton introduce himself. We're going to have a candid conversation about Velton, his career, and what big problem he wants to solve for all of us. Velton, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Well, good afternoon, Grant, and good afternoon to everybody tuned in. My name is Velton Showell, and I'm the third. There was a senior, there was a junior, and believe it or not, there's a fourth. So I have to make that distinction. And all of us have had tremendous lives and tremendous careers. But I'm excited about being here today, Grant, and just giving you a little insight as to not just my name, but who am I behind the name.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about leadership. You're known for leadership. You have a brand identity that has been established for a few decades now. You're an author, you've written books, you've talked about leadership, you have a style, a strategy, a philosophy. Talk to us a little bit about how you feel about leadership.
It's interesting because everybody's a leader, whether they realize it or not. The first person in life that you lead is yourself. But when you expand outside of that arena into a broader scope or a broader scale, and you start to interact and encounter other people, there's only two roles. There's either a follower or there's a leader. And just because you have a title doesn't make you a leader. I've been in more organizations and in more companies where the unofficial leader is more powerful than the actual person with the title. So leadership is not about being promoted. Leadership is not about wearing the badge or the title. Leadership is primarily, and this is what I really focus on, is how other people see you, how other people perceive you. One of my favorite quotes is by Maya Angelou, and it says, "People may forget what you say, people may forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel." And leaders make people feel positive. Leaders make people feel good about themselves and good about the leader, because they feel as though they're in an environment where they're celebrated, not tolerated, which is one of my key phrases that I love. But they also understand that the leader understands it's not about them, but it's about the people they've been entrusted to lead.
100% on that. 100%. That is what a leader does. People want to follow them. You don't have to go out and find followers. People just naturally will follow a leader. You've been doing a lot around champions, leader in inspiring champions, maybe developing champions. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, there's only one thing that people value in life more than money, and that's winning.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to be a winner. Nobody wants to be a loser. But think about it this way. If I want to win and you want to win, do we win together or do we become competitors and win separately? Mm-hmm. How far can we go if we both have an agenda of winning, but one agenda doesn't coincide with the other agenda? There was one of my favorite basketball coaches. I think he said it better than I've ever heard it said. And I'm not sure if you're a basketball fan.
Come on now.
All right. All right. Now, what's your team? You have to tell me.
Well, the Miami Heat right here.
Okay. All right. Well, don't get offended at what I'm going to say.
I will never be offended.
But this coach coached multiple NBA championship teams in 2 different cities.
Mm-hmm.
And the first team that he coached, he said to them, good teams become great when the players learn to trust each other enough to replace me with we.
Wow. Yeah.
So think about that for a minute. As a leader, and you have a group of individuals that are there to accomplish a goal. The goal is winning a championship. They all have their own personal agendas. They all have their own salaries. They already all have their own ideas of what it means to be successful. How do you create an environment where we is more important than me? That's how you win championships. That's how you create dynasties.
Mm.
That's how you perpetuate excellence. And that's what I really focus on when I talk to organizations, corporations about leadership and what it means. For many years, I was sent to these workshops, and you've probably been to some of them too. And they said, what's your leadership style?
Yeah.
What's your leadership style? We're going to give you a test to determine what your leadership style is. And as I sat there and I watched, and I started to ask myself the question, is my leadership style that important? Is the leadership style that they're trying to identify or tell me that I am appropriate for every situation? And I came up with the understanding and ideology that leaders have to be chameleons.
Mm.
You have to be able to change your leadership style based on the circumstances that you've been thrust into. Now, you may have a dominant style, but your dominant style may not be conducive to the circumstances at hand. So, more important than your leadership style, now check this out, is the learning style of the people you've been entrusted to lead. How do they process information? When you're talking to them, are you reaching them? When you're attempting to lead them, are they following you? Or are they looking at you like they looked at Charlie Brown's teacher on the old Peanuts Yeah, exactly. So the question becomes, do you take the time to understand who they are and what they're about? It's not about me, it's about we.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm listening to you, Velton. This is important because, I do a lot of branding, do some marketing. I've been in business development for a number of years, and you have to communicate. You have to have a communication strategy. There's so many different media now in order to communicate, where before maybe there was 1, 2, or 3, like the channels of the TV station back in the 60s or 70s, you only had 3. Now it's on cable, right? It's on steroids. It's so many different. So how do you gain attention so people are actually paying attention, and you verify that this is what I said, but is that what you heard? Now, I need to understand what you heard or how you interpreted what you thought I said. Because of the attention span and other things, 100% of what you said might have been 50% misinterpreted. What are you doing around communication strategies?
Well, communication, it's interesting. I was in sales and marketing for 27 years. And one of the biggest things that people always said is the best salespeople are the best talkers. They can tell you what it is they want to tell you. And many times salespeople, they tell you what they want to tell you. They tell you, then they tell you what they're selling you.
Yeah.
In this day and age, you've got 2 to 3 seconds to get somebody's attention. And more times than not, it's not about you trying to sell them anything.
Mm.
The most powerful thing is to ask the right question. People move based on 2 things. The first thing that makes people move is pain. Okay. There's people don't move unless there's pain associated with it. I don't want to take a lot of time on this, but there's an old story that there were 2 old men. They used to sit on the porch every Sunday afternoon and rock and talk. We're getting to the age where we'll end up doing that one day, Grant, down here in South Florida. We can do it all year long down there.
I'll look forward to.
But one Sunday, the old man was sitting there and his dog was laying over there and his dog was howling. And the other guy walks up the street and he says, "Man, don't you hear that dog over there howling?" He said, "Yeah, I hear him." And he said, "Well, when are you going to take the dog to the vet and find out what's wrong with him?" He's all right. He's all right. He sounds like he's dying over there, man. And I can't even sit down and enjoy myself. He said, "He's okay. Don't worry." He said, "How do you know?" He said, "He's like most people. He's laying on a tack. And until the pain gets to the point where he can't bear it anymore, he won't move.
Mm.
So when you're talking about reaching people, how can you recreate in their mind that pain that they had? And how you are going to give them some relief? How does your product, good, or service relieve them from the pain that they're having?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about selling, it's about creating a mindset and solving a problem or fulfilling a need.
Mm-hmm.
If you can solve a problem, I ask entrepreneurs this all the time. You're in business, you're creating this business. What business does your problem solve? Because when you determine what problem your business solves, now you have identified your market.
Right.
Because the people who have that problem now have a need for your service. But if you don't know what problem you solve, then you're taking a guess at what you should be doing and what you should be saying and how you should be presenting it to the marketplace.
Velton Showell, one of the nation's leading business transformation experts. Velton's an expert in sales, marketing, and leadership development. A speaker, author, trainer, and business consultant who's known for his wit and wisdom. Velton delivers dynamic and entertaining messages to organizations throughout the United States and the Caribbean. Customers everywhere appreciate his humorous style and useful techniques. Velton combines research and theory with real-life experience. He believes in taking control of your business and your life by continuing to exercise and feed the strongest muscle in the human body, the brain. He challenges his audiences to transform their thinking from what's traditional or what's normal and expand their horizons, to think and dream big. Transform your thinking and transform your world. Velton takes your organization's programs, topics, and resource materials and incorporates them into his message, which deepens and sustains your business vision. Velton's energy is widely appreciated by his clients. He's considered one of the nation's leading business experts in sales, marketing, customer service, and leadership development. His ability to find common language with team members while building a cohesive environment is well documented. Velton calls on his experience of 27 years in leadership roles, including leading award-winning sales operations. His leadership skills and passion for teaching and training his staffs has repeatedly yielded significant revenue gains over the years. Now you can take advantage of this experience as he delivers high-powered messages to your organization. One of his greatest accomplishments was creating an environment that led his sales operation to achieve exponential success, going from $24 million to $98 million in 4 short years without increasing the size of the staff. So get on board and let Velton help you take your group's performance from average to outstanding.
A groundbreaking digital platform offers streaming videos and podcasts with content to enhance your career, business, and lifestyle success. Get insights from industry-leading experts, entrepreneurs, executives, and thought leaders. iCaba TV covers career development, business strategies, wealth creation, personal growth, and luxury lifestyle. Be a part of the iCaba global community as we elevate our talent, skills, and knowledge. iCaba World Network TV, amplifying our unlimited potential and showcasing our greatness. Do you have a show for iCaba TV? Join the iCaba World Network and submit your existing podcast or streaming show. iCabaWorldNetwork.com.
So true. 100% true on that. And I see that over and over again. People, they skip steps. They start a process, let's say, of marketing before they've done anything around identity or done any kind of real research. Like, well, okay, have you identified the problem? I see this so much. Now, I've been 25 years in information technology. I got exposed to so many companies, so many brands, so many different solutions. And they would come out with the marketing, and I would look at that and say, well, this is all about me, 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 me. What business problem are we solving? And what will people really resonate or actually pay attention to? What they want. A lot of people are like, I want you to identify with me that you understand I'm in pain. Like, wow, are you experiencing this? Is this you? And you're like, you get it. You understand me. All right, you got my full attention.
You got my full attention. And, I have a very good friend that I work with, Trevor Otts, and he says that people pay you three ways. And it's called the rule of I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First with their information, second with their action, third with their money. Take it out of order, you'll cut your revenue by 80%.
Mm-hmm.
And their information means that they've got enough interest in what you are providing that they will give you their name and their email address and their phone number so that they can now communicate with you, or they're hoping that you reach out to them. Second, after they've given you that information, they'll take some kind of action towards your product, your program, or the information that you're setting. They'll go to your website, they'll take a look, they want to know more about you. They'll do both of those things before they're even willing to write a check, swipe a credit card, or anything like that. But the question goes back to, how did I cultivate that interest to get them to take action? We're talking about leadership. In a leadership mindset, how do I prepare my team to be able to handle this kind of relationship developing process? I talk to a lot of small business owners, and I ask the same question and I get the same answer more times than not. So, do you have a strategic plan? Well, I've got a business plan. I don't need another business plan. I've got a business plan. That's not what I asked you. See, business plans are written for financial institutions to tell them whether or not you're solvent, or if you are attractive enough to a potential buyer or partner to go into business with you. A strategic plan is written for you and your team. It has strategies and tactics that support the journey to fulfilling that strategy. The strategies, those tactics have due dates, they have assignments of who's responsible, and they tie back to your budget. Mm-hmm. And they basically keep you focused on the main thing. A lot of people get distracted, but you have to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you don't have some kind of documentation and you've got a dynamic organization, something gets lost in the sauce.
For sure.
And so now you're sitting there going, I think I remember I kind of thought, talk to Grant, maybe he remembers, because I don't remember that conversation. And all of a sudden you're picking at straws instead of really accomplishing the things that you need to accomplish to move the needle.
I think all these things we're talking about leads to now what we need to talk about, is that you've got to be able to measure. You've got to be able to get the pulse of your business or your strategy or your leadership to know kind of where you're possibly missing the mark. Because if you don't, and this is an honest assessment, an honest measurement of where you're at, how you're utilizing that, maybe utilizing tools, maybe utilizing surveys, you're getting some feedback, but you've got to do that. Talk to me how you help your clients and more potential clients understand the importance of metrics.
Well, when I sit down with a client, no matter how large or small they are, the first thing I do is I go in and I basically do an assessment. One of the things that I learned in my career in corporate America, I worked for a company where they moved us around the country quite a bit. Every 2 years, they moved us pretty much to a different location. If you stayed at a location more than 3 to 5 years, then you were either not willing to move anymore, or they called you a lifer. But anyway, when you walked into a new environment, one of the first things that one of my mentors told me is, for the first 30 days, don't do anything. Just sit back and watch. And tell people, keep doing what you've always done. There's a saying, if you do what you always did, you get what you always got.
Yeah.
The only question is, are you happy with what you're getting? If you're not, you better make a change. So after the 30 days of assessing, then you start to say, okay, these are the things, you've got a list of things that need to be tweaked, kicked, or thrown out. There's a saying, first you tweak it, then you kick it.
Okay.
So after the 30 days, now you've got a little bit of an idea of what's very good, what's fair, and what's not working. And once you've made that assessment, the best thing for you to do is to sit down with the team, use the sandwich method, and say, here's what we do well. Here's what I think we need to improve on. And these are the things that I think we need to change. What I'd like is your input, feedback, and assistance on making those adjustments or changes. Yeah. Once you get their buy-in, now it's no longer, man, I can't believe this guy or this lady. Here she comes, brand new in here. She's just going to throw us under the bus and tell us we got to do it her way or his way or her way. No, that's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do, we're going to decide our fate together.
Right.
We're going to look at our road and our journey together. And once we've determined that, then everybody's on the same page. I'm going to tell you a little story if I can for a minute. And this was for me. When I came to South Florida, my last hotel was a golf resort. And I had 8 salespeople on staff. And for the first week when I got there, I took every one of the salespeople on a ride in a golf cart. And I asked them 3 questions. Where are you in your career? Where do you want to go? And how can I help you get there?
Fair.
And I rode for an hour and I listened to what they had to say. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very simple. Doesn't sound like much. I didn't think much of it. Fast forward. I left there when the market crashed and started my own business. Just before the pandemic, I had to do a photo shoot. Okay. I told you I was in the hotel business.
Yeah.
One of the salespeople on my team was now a director at their own resort.
Nice.
And his name was Felix. I won't tell you his last name. I never called him Felix. I always called him Flex. He was a young guy, very, very young. So I called him up and I said, Flex, hey, man, I need a favor. He said, what do you need, Bill? I said, I need to do a photo shoot, and I'd like to do it in the presidential suite. Because they have like 4 presidential suites at this resort. At your resort. He said, oh, well, let me look. I said, I'm not looking for anything free. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I need enough space for my photographer and I to come up and take pictures. So, okay. So he called me back and he said, I don't have the presidential, but I have one of the premier suites available. It's a little smaller than the presidential, but has a nice balcony overlooking the beach and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, fantastic. All right, Flex. So I get to the resort. And he meets me in the lobby. We hug each other because we hadn't seen each other in 10 years. And I said, so how's it going, man? How's everything? He said, good. I said, I wasn't sure if you'd remember me. This is what he said. He said, I can never forget you. Mm. I said, what? Well, I said, you have more directors than me. He said, when I first met you, the first day I met you, you took me on a ride on a golf cart for an hour. And you asked me 3 questions. He said, I'll never forget it. I said, really? He said, and to this day, when I go into a new hotel or a new resort with a new team, I asked those 3 questions every time to the people on that team.
Nice.
It let me know that it wasn't about your agenda, but it was about how you could help me get to where I wanted to go. What does that mean? That means when people want to feel like you care.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
And when they feel about whether or not you care, they will go the extra mile for you. To tie it up in a nutshell, I said, okay, Felix, he said, call me when the photo shoot is over and I'll come back up. Tell your photographer to leave her car out front and I'll take care of her parking.
Yeah.
And your parking. I said, okay. So he comes up after the photo shoot. I said, okay, let's go to the front desk so I can settle up.
Yeah.
Settle up. I said, yeah, I told you I didn't want this for free. He said, Dalton, you can't pay for this. Parking ticket for you. Here's your parking ticket for your photographer. They said, if anytime you need something, let me know. That's the kind, now it's not because it's me, but that's the kind of results you get from little things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the culture of champions is all about.
Nice.
For 30 years, I watched people get promoted primarily for 3 reasons. Their fiduciary understanding, taking the top line and bringing that money to the bottom line and turning a profit. Their technological skills, their ability to stay abreast of new technology, things that were changing, and their strategic thought process.
Mm-hmm.
They knew how to put together a strategic plan with strategies and tactics. Many of them got these tremendous promotions, and a very high percentage of them failed miserably.
Wow.
Why? Because they had lost sight of the most important asset in their portfolio, and that was the people that they were entrusted to lead. It was not about the people skills that they needed to have to develop that environment. It was more about their own personal agenda of doing the best job that they thought they could do to get the next promotion.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaw, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaw explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
That's golden. That is so golden to understand. Don't, again, when you're doing measurement, you're doing metrics. Are you measuring the right things? Are you really looking at what makes things happen? How do you get the results? Well, especially in the business environment, the results are always done by the people.
Mhm.
So if you haven't really honed in on the people, then whatever you're going to implement is not going to be implemented the way that you expected it. Here's the big question of the day I want to ask you. Big question now. We've got a huge technological change that has happened with artificial intelligence. And a lot of business plans that you probably did this time last year are now obsolete because of a new technology that's disrupting the way things are done. And it's created opportunity. At the same time, it has created a lot of anxiety around, am I being replaced? Am I not being replaced? Where do I fit in this whole new workforce environment? And as a leader, I would like you to talk to me as I'm the leader of a Fortune 500 company. I've got thousands of people that I am responsible for. Here's a new technology that, for the good, the bad, or the indifferent, is going to change the environment. What would you say to that individual?
Probably two things. Three things. Number one, the people who learn to master the new technology are going to be the people that will always have job security. What do I mean by that? What you're talking about with AI, when I think that's primarily what you're talking about, is that AI can think for you. But for AI to work at its optimal level, you've got to teach it.
Right.
You've got to train it. You've got to give it information. So if you are afraid of it and you run from it and you fear it, then it now is training you. Okay. So if you don't fear it and you gravitate to it and you take it by the horns and you learn how to master it, now you become invaluable because everybody doesn't do what you did, what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's just like being a doctor. If it was easy to be a doctor, everybody'd be one. You have to go through some training. You got to go through some pain. You got to go through some change. You got to do some different stuff to be able to get there. But the question that I ask everybody, and if I was the CEO of that company, is, are you willing to do what needs to be done to get where you want to go?
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody's replaceable in their current state. If you're not willing to grow, then you become obsolete sooner or later. If you're not willing to change, you can be replaced sooner versus later. So the question is, what are you willing to do? How are you willing to take the bull by the horns? Are you willing to do what other people won't, so tomorrow you can have what other people can't? It's up to us. It's up to you as an individual. And this is a conversation that you can have with every CEO. Yeah. You can have this same conversation with the lowest person on the totem pole. What are you willing to do to better yourself? Because if you don't, prime example, Martin Luther King says, if you're going to be a sweet sweeper, be the best sweeper that ever lived. But sooner or later, technology did away with sweep sweeper jobs. So now, if you were the street sweeper, it was in your best interest to learn how to run the technology that replaced the street sweeper.
Correct.
Okay. So it's the same adage in anything, AI is your new VA. I know there's some VAs that just turned off your show, but I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's real. That's real. And that's what it's all about. We're speakers, trainers, and coaches. There was a time where we'd get on a stage for an hour. Nobody's going to sit there for an hour conversation anymore. You may get 20 minutes.
Correct.
So how do you make the adjustment to fit the new criteria?
The new paradigm. Yeah.
I encourage people to read, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't do. Stay abreast of what's going on. Stay on the forefront of what the changes that are happening. And you don't always have to read a book. Turn your car into a library. There's software called Audible. I love it.
That's right.
Okay. You can turn your car into a library instead of listening to this music that's getting you nowhere sometimes. Don't get me wrong, I'm a jazz lover and I love to relax. But the bottom line is at some point, I've got to make a choice. I've got to make a choice as to how I exercise the most powerful muscle in my body, my brain.
We are going to conclude here. This has been wonderful, Velton. And before we do that, I want the audience to understand your business and understand what they can gain by working with you to make sure that they truly understand the value that you're bringing to them in today's world.
My business is about helping people who are in leadership roles, officially, unofficially, or however, to be the best that they can be, to realize their true potential, and to recognize the skills and the qualities that are out there that are making a change in the new millennium. We've got in the workforce right now, we've got generations of people who look at things and think differently. Mm-hmm. So how do we prepare ourselves to deal with those individuals or deal with the unknown? Mm-hmm. Because we don't know what the next generation is going to bring, but they're coming.
That's true.
And so therefore we have to understand it. That's why I created the Culture of Champions, because it's about creating a culture where we can focus on those individuals that are coming, those individuals that are in existence, and those individuals like me that are, been around for a while. So we're all in this together. So what do? If we who've been around for a while understand how to deal with those who are coming or just starting and help mentor them without trying to police them, then we've got a chance in turning this ship in a positive way. So that's really what my focus is. That's really what I've written my books on. I write books and I teach and I train on the subject of leadership and creating a culture where people feel celebrated, not tolerated, where people know that it's not about me, it's about we.
Yes.
It's about moving the envelope for everybody. And when everybody wins, I win.
Hey, I like a culture of champions and being a winner, and winners learn from winners. Someone said, how many champions you know that didn't have a coach? You've got to have a coach to help you, which again, what you said earlier, to bring out your full potential. I really, really, really like that. Tell us how to get in contact with you in the best possible way.
Well, there's a couple of things. One of the things you talked about as far as a coach, the Culture of Champions is a community.
Yeah.
Not about me pontificating my brilliance. It's about a community of surrounding yourself with people just like you that are aspiring to be the best that they can be. So we created the Culture of Champions community. If you're interested in the Culture of Champions community, go to cultureofchampions.world and register to become a member of the Culture of Champions community. The other way to get in touch with me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you a gift, because I really, and I told Grant this before, I believe in this, and that the first person to give wins. So I'm going to give you something because you've already given to me. You've given me your time and your attention for this time period that I've been here as a guest on Grant's show. So if you text the word Culture of Champions to 954-787-1619, 954-787-1619. Text the word Culture of Champions, your full name, and your email address. I'm going to send you a free gift from me to you as a thank you for being here tonight and spending time with me. Now, if you want to send me an email, you can send me an email to velton@leadershipdynamicsinternational.com. That's Velton, V as in Victor, ELTON at leadershipdynamicsinternational.com.
This has been wonderful, Velton, sharing with me today as we are going in, 2024. Great conversation, great perspective. Got a little taste of your philosophy. Definitely going to pick up that book and read through that. So important to get the perspectives, get the motivation, there you go. There we go. There you go. There it is, leadership. I like that. So those that are seeing us some are listening on the podcast, some will see this on the broadcast. So he's got a nice book out on leadership. Definitely encourage you to get that. I'm sure that's available on Amazon and others. Yeah,
it's available on Amazon and it's available on Audible.
Nice. Oh, wow. Look at that. All right. So you can listen to it on your way to wherever you're going. Great opportunity there. I encourage your entire audience to tune into all the episodes of Follow Brand, where we have a library of professionals like Velton talking about the subjects that you can get involved in and understand perspectives about personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, technology innovation, and branding. How to exude executive presence like Velton does. This is so important that we've had this library of information there. There's over 150 episodes. So you have the opportunity to learn from those who have done it. I want to thank you again for being on the Follow Brand podcast, and I look forward to working with you again. Thank you so much, Velton.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to show that it is possible to work hard, study hard, and be able to accomplish whatever dreams or aspirations that they may have. I serve here as a mentor for our Black Male Initiative, which is Mu Beta Tau. And what we do, we try to, encourage minority male students to continue, not drop out because of things that may be out of your control at home or on the job or whatever else is going on.
But man, I tell you, passion will actually open the door for you.
Okay.
Attitude will open the door for you. And so there was a performance management, new performance management director position at Palmtran. And I'm sitting there as an attempt, I'm doing dispatch. But something about you tells you, you were made for greatness, and you have the background, you have the preparation. I tell my kids all the time, success is when opportunity meets preparation. Well, the opportunity came, and I was already prepared, so I went for it, and I got it.
Yes.
I actually beat out transit professionals for that job because I didn't know transit, but I knew performance. I knew what it took for an organization to have high performance. So I did that at Palmtran for 2 years, working under the very, very charismatic leader, Clinton Forbes, at Palmtran. And it's interesting because we made such a mark on creating the Palmtran STAT program, which is all about metrics and performance, that his boss, Virginia Baker, who is the accounting administrator for Palm Beach County, said, I want that for the whole county.
It's not about becoming an expert. It's about doing things the right way and being effective in your role. And so you can be the smartest person and you can know everything about heart care. You can know everything about oncology. You can know everything about surgery. You can know everything about primary care, but you may not be effective in your job. And so for me, it's a balance of understanding the nuances and the key expertise for your job, but also understanding how, as a leader, because we're leaders. We're not a doc. We're not a respiratory therapist. We're not a nurse. We're not bedside care. We're actually looking at holistically the enterprise or the organization you're part of and making sure that we're, one, living out the mission of the organization, but then two, executing on the strategic planning of the organization to make sure we're still viable as an organization.
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Really, my purpose today is to introduce a very neat person. It's your keynote speaker. This individual is a business expert, and he's as highly sought after professional speaker as there is. And he's the founder of the Bond Group.
So today I want to talk to you. How about that?
This Bond Group organization impacts companies, professionals at all levels on the power of being accountable. And this individual also, before founding this training and development company by the name of Walter Bond, played professional basketball for NBA teams such as the Utah Jazz, Detroit Pistons, and the Dallas Mavericks.
Now, let me set this up before I get into my program. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I made it to the NBA because I was fundamentally sound. No other reason.
Walter delivers more than 100 life-changing keynotes and seminars each year.
Every single day, I drilled the fundamentals. So when I left sports and got into business, I didn't focus on making money.
Walter has received numerous awards such as the Best Motivational Speaker, Top 5 in Motivation.
People want to have success, people want to make a lot of money, but they want it to be easy without any challenge.
He's also featured in an upcoming Oprah Winfrey Network special.
I tell you what, Jonas, transitioning out of sports is tough for anybody. Your whole life is sold out to the sport, and then one day it's taken away, and now you got to figure out the next plan, and you haven't had time to make a plan because it takes such a commitment to play pro sports.
I want you to be confident, but don't you dare cross that line into arrogance, because arrogant people stop growing. Arrogant people stop developing because arrogant people think they have arrived. My arrogance almost cost me my future. What do I need to do? You see me operate. You see what I'm doing. I'm tired of making excuses. I'm tired of justifying. What do I need to do? I went to that coach's office for 4 years. It started as a joke. That last year, he teared up. He said, son, when I recruited you, I heard you was a mama's boy. But he gave me the biggest compliment I've ever had in my life. He said, you are not a mama's boy. In fact, you're one of the toughest players I've ever had. The biggest compliment he ever gave me. You are just like your daddy. What do I need to do?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage award-winning speaker and business coach, Mr. Walter Bond.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius.